Hey everybody, so I think I'm going to start doing these Walking Dead kind of recap videos. I'm not exactly sure what I want to call them yet. Basically, I just love the show so much and I love the comics so much that I just want to talk about it a little bit after each episode because I like to talk and that's something I like to talk about. First I'll say, like I said, I'm not 100% current in the comics, but I'm maybe 6, 7, 8 issues behind. Really loving it. And I love the show, and I love, ever since Scott Gimple has come back, I love that he has really transformed this show back to actually following the comics a lot more closely. And it's really paying off. That being said, tonight's episode, completely nothing in the comics at all. There may be references I haven't had time to think of. I have not watched Talking Dead yet. I do watch that, so I don't know. But I do want to talk about how awesome this episode was. Now, I know a lot of Walking Dead fans that like the action and the zombies and the gore. They're probably not going to like this because it was very much a slower, talky piece. This would have been a good one for Kevin Smith to direct, quite honestly, because it was people in a room talking for the most part. But it was very effective. The villains, the female saviors and the guy and all that, and Alicia Witt especially, were fantastic. I hated them from the instant I saw them. The first words out of their mouth, I was just wringing my hands with tension, just waiting for them to get their comeuppance, and I'm so glad. You know what? Let me. Sorry, I'll post it, but spoiler warnings. I'm going to talk about this episode and everything that's happened in the show thus far. I don't know if I'll talk much about comics. If I do, I will give you spoiler warnings ahead of time. But anyways, so I'm so glad I didn't have to wait more than an episode to see them get their comeuppance. Actually, there was one similarity to the comic. When Carol has the gun on the Pamela character, I think her name was, the Alicia Witt character, towards the end, and the zombie comes off the pole behind her, and I really thought we might lose Carol for a minute. Thank God we didn't. But that could have been kind of similar to her comic death, which, it happened way back at the prison, so her character in the show is vastly different from what was in the comic, and a great improvement, in my opinion. But that's really the only thing I could tie to that, but I still thought that was really cool. I really love the tension of this. I'm not sure what Carol's doing, and it is fascinating. It's like you're kind of back and forth. Is she putting on an act? Is she not? And then I thought she is putting on an act, but now she's clearly just losing it, and it's fascinating. So I don't like that, but I think that's kind of the point, because I like my badass Rambo Carol, but it's cool. And we got the little hug from Daryl. Daryl checking in on her. We haven't seen them together all season, so that's pretty neat. And of course, Maggie was great, and just as always. And the conversation with her and the kind of mirror universe Maggie, if you will, I thought was pretty neat, especially that little kind of line about, we're both wanting to survive the day, but the thing is, one of us is wrong. I thought that was really neat. Another thing I really thought was cool about this episode we haven't seen, for the most part, this was an entirely female episode, and that worked. And I almost wonder on Talking Dead, they got Paul Feig, and I almost wonder if that's a bit of a pandering thing. We won't get into that here. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, look, it was an awesome episode. It's very tense. There's some great Bear McCreary music again, especially towards the end. And I'm still just baffled with all the merchandise and product lines of Walking Dead licenses that exists today. The one thing tens of thousands of us have been begging for years, we've still not gotten. They will not give us a Bear McCreary score CD release or even a digital release, whatever. I want his music from this show. It is fantastic. I know in the earlier days it was a lot more just atmospheric, but he's really gotten into some great, almost very John Carpenter-esque stuff lately, and I really want those tracks. Plus the official version of the theme. That would be fantastic. But yeah, look, again, it's another violent episode. Very little zombie stuff, but it worked. I love that the Pamela chick had half her face chewed off. And it is a lot darker with the violence against the humans now. And for me, as somebody that likes the dark stuff, it's very, very fascinating what they're doing. And this whole "we're all Negan" thing is also kind of a neat little trick they're playing, and that everybody claims to be Negan and all that. And I love the reveal that the Mirror Universe Maggie's boyfriend, she went looking for the body and couldn't find it because it was all blown up. Well, guess we know where her boyfriend was, as they kind of say in the show, and we know what happened to them. But damn, Rick has just become cold and brutal, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, this Carol stuff is going to get very interesting, but I'm all like, damn it, Morgan, why'd you have to get in her head? So much shit could have just been avoided, but, what are you going to do? So, yeah, and then next week's looks pretty darn interesting as well, what they had in the little trailer, so I'm really looking forward to it. It looks like, we're going to be back in Alexandria. We're going to talk a lot about Carol and what she's going through, but it also very much looks like, okay, so I'll tell you right here, if you haven't read the comics, I'm not going too far past where we are, But this is a little bit past where we are, so you might want to turn this off now if you don't want to know this. But it looks, well, I can say it pretty vague too. So it looks like Abraham and Eugene find a place that, there we go. It was no spoilers. Find a place that is very fascinating. If you know the comics, you know what I'm talking about. And this is around the time they should. So yeah, I'm really anxious. I love this episode. So, again, very kind of different, a little ballsy to I don't like using that term. Women are just, whatever. Sorry, forget I said that. But it was very courageous. It's better than what I was going with. But that they kind of did this kind of episode, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people on the internet that hated this one, but I really loved it, and I like when they branch out and do unique kind of things like this. So I'm looking forward to the next one. This season has been amazing. It's going to get even more amazing. But what do you guys think? Did you like this one? Did you hate this one? Do the whole comment thing. Let's talk about it. I'm up for chatting with anybody. And, give me the thumbs up if you want, or really hit that subscribe button, because I will keep doing this. The more of you that keep hitting that button, the more of this I will do. And let me know what you think, and we will talk again later. All right? Whoops, already said yeah, later.